Now, when we were talking, you talked about your sort of some details about your father and your interactions with him. And I remember that there was a post when you actually were leaving Nissan. You have posted on LinkedIn where you talked about losing your father,
Yes,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, when did this happen, and then what is that you felt that suddenly missed out of your life at that point of time?
Yeah, in the second wave of COVID, unfortunately, he was infected with COVID without him realizing
Okay.
he was infected. Rather, he had the second dosage of the vaccination. So
He had it.
he had it. So just he had the second vaccination dose.
Okay.
Without realizing, he already had COVID. So both the viruses
Okay.
created
Okay.
a havoc, and he had a stroke, and he was in hospital for 8 days. Unfortunately, he
That was
passed
in
away.
Bangalore itself?
No, no, in my hometown down south.
Okay, okay, okay.
So I had to rush there and take care of him. Very difficult times because of the lockdown, and very tough to move around and do everything ourselves. So it was pretty tough in the sense I miss his wise counsel because he literally taught me everything. How do you handle yourself in corporate? Because he had a pretty long stint in different
Yeah.
companies. He started his career in a fertilizer giant called Spic. It was a very popular company those days. And then he moved on to a seed processing company. In between, he dabbled in stock market. He used to be on the floor in Madras Stock Exchange when they used to physically trade shares, and just keep screaming, right?
Yeah.
So ABB like that. So those days, it was very exciting times too.
Yeah.
I was a teenager when he was in the stock market, and every day used to be like adrenaline rush. They used to
True,
say,
true.
"I make this much money for the client. I sold this. I bought this." Very very interesting. But again, stock market is very volatile, and he also had a fair hit of losses in '96
Okay,
crash.
okay.
Then he went back to employment with the same Spic Group company, and that company was bought over by the American partners, and they in turn were bought over by DuPont. So end of the day, he became a DuPont employee. So since he had a very long stint in corporate, he used to tell me how things, and that played a very critical role in my thought process and how I shaped my career, my personality. Because he was so dedicated, and people from that generation, they are very naive, in the sense very true. Not that I'm not. Point is, they are very dedicated, and to the point of neglecting family. I mean, work is worship, kind of.
Yeah. I remember. Yeah.
Very very true to the work and stuff. Even before he was in the staff union, he was a leader, and he helped.
Okay.
The labor union is different. This is staff union. He did a lot of good things, but end of the day, being a finance professional, audits are a way of life. Handling audits by different auditors. So that was one reason why I wanted my own vehicle.
Yeah.
He used to have a long late night work till 11, 12, and then and I never felt good sitting in his reception or next to
Waiting
him,
for it.
waiting for like a school kid. I was very young, and I always wanted to be independent. So a lot of learnings, and that also shaped my thought process, and I wrote my book on career excellence. So overall, I miss his wise counsel because the pandemic times we couldn't be together. So almost every alternate day I used to call him, and
talk.
we used to chat for about an hour on anything on the world, from Obama to local politics to everything. He was very frank, and the only good satisfaction I had was around 6 months before he passed away. I went down to his place in down south, and then we
To the
went
native place,
to
you
my
said.
native place. We went and I picked him up. We went to Trivandrum. I vacated my house. I had a rented apartment. I had good 3 days. I took him to the local beach in Trivandrum. His beaches are something he has grown up with, and it was a chance for us to bond. Then I dropped him back. So that was pleasant memory. Overall, he's been a great influencer and shaper in my the way my worldview. Everything is from him. In fact, he was very happy when he heard I did my doctorate.
Okay.
So one point in time, he was not very. Can you keep on doing so many certifications and studies? When will you stop?
Yeah.
I said my career, is in a domain where you need to keep yourself
Of course,
updated, because
yeah.
they from his era it was always about getting a degree or a PG and then you stop with that. For him, this was pretty new. Why do you do so many certifications? What do you get? I have to keep myself up to date. I have to upskill myself. I have to be useful to my company, and I have to deliver. For all of this upskilling is certifications are a quick way to
Very
do
important.
it.
Very
So
important.
then he realized, but otherwise he was pretty. He felt a little, this is not a right thing. You keep on studying. What do you do out of this? You should not become a certification junkie. That's what his thought process was. So
Okay.
overall, he's been a big influencer in my life.